This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. Brennan likes fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. We marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans.
Welcome to Markin Out, Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling fans. This is episode 766. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you check us out on all platforms that you are listening to podcasts on, such as Spotify, and give us a 5-star rating to go with that 5-star frog splash. That's right. Give us a review. Also, buy a t-shirt, prowrestlingtees.com/markinout. Give us a like on Facebook. Give us a follow on Twitter @markinout and on TikTok @markinout. But on Instagram @markinout11. You can follow me on all social media platforms. That is right. It is me. It is I. It is Dave the Rave. And you can check me out at DavidPTDPT. Check out Chris at CMSweeney85 on Instagram and Chris Sweendog on Twitter. And Brandon at BTTG161. I am here joined by Brandon. Brandon, how are you?
I am doing awesome as always. How about yourself?
Doing tired. I am exhausted. And I am ready to go to sleep. That is for sure. Ready to go to sleep.
Well, we will talk about CM Punk later. How was your week?
My week was fantastic. Kept busy. Actually got to go to Create a Pro Wrestling. Went to Create a Pro Wrestling with Chris and Sal and Pete. And it was incredible. It was a lot of fun. It was always amazing. My dad also joined us. We got to see Brian Myers and Matt Cardona and the Dudley Boys, of course, Team 3D, and it was just a lot of fun. We got to see familiar faces as well, such as Evil Kip and CPA. And let me tell you, Evil Kip, he is absolutely evil. I mean, I just wanted to go over and just say hi, and he wanted nothing to do with me at all. He was just wasting. Any words to me was just a total, utter waste of his time. So, yeah, Evil Kip, he is totally evil. But everybody should definitely buy his autograph there. And everybody else. But, yeah, Create a Pro Wrestling was a lot of fun. It was enjoyable. And, yeah, we got to meet but we got to say hi to Matt and Brian as well. Dave LaGreca was there, and it was so enjoyable. It was fun because I got to also have my dad with us to enjoy the wrestling event, and he's never actually met Matt before or Brian.
What?
And
how's that possible?
Yeah, he's never met them before. I know.
Well, Brian, I get. Matt.
Well, actually, no, he
Matt,
did.
I don't.
He actually met Brian once before. Matt,
he
no.
helped Jamie, did he?
Yeah.
Did he help Jamie move?
Exactly, yeah. Brian had to came over at one point. So he did meet Brian very briefly at one point. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and everybody should be going and supporting Create a Pro Wrestling. All of the wrestlers there were fantastic, so enjoyable. I would put over each and every one of them because all of them deserve a spotlight. They knew how to put over the crowd. They knew how to engage the crowd, and it was just fun. And I hope that they come back to Merrick. This was actually Matt Cardona's very first show in his hometown. So it was nice. It was very nice.
I think proceeds from that event went to charity, too.
Yes, it went to the Belmore Merrick. Merrick District, yeah. They're baseball teams, I believe. Did a little league. But, yeah, totally check out Create a Pro Wrestling. It is fun. How about you?
I know you can see clips from that show on our TikTok @Markin Out.
Yes, you can go check that out. And it was cool to see Team 3D as well. Bully Ray was in the matchup with Dave LaGreca as a special guest referee, while Devon was doing managing services on the outside of the ring. And of course, you had the Dudley, you had the table spot, you had the What's Up, which Matt got to perform, and it was just so much fun. Very enjoyable, and I can't put it over enough. But always a pleasure seeing Creative Pro Wrestling, and but we'll definitely be covering them in the future as well. How was your weekend?
My week, I've really just been grinding for that TNA AJ Styles on WWE 2K25 because they put up an encore event. They gave us a month to get it done. Honestly, I think I might be able to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to get the Bailey card, and then I can continue on with the chain. The Bailey card costs 120,000 my faction points, which it's like the highest suit, but I feel like that's completely overpriced. It's not a Persona card or anything, so I have to grind up to that. I think I'm at like 70,000 my faction points. So I get like around approximately 800 if I do the gimmick properly. So hopefully I will be able to get that TNA AJ Styles. I don't think I overreacted the other week giving them an anti-shout-out for that, though. So
No, you did not at all.
But, so that's basically all I did this week. We have Monday Night Raw to talk about, opening with Roman Reigns, immediately interrupted by Bronson Reed. Paul Heyman as well. Paul Heyman brought up how Bronson Reed took Roman Reigns out, and he had to get stretchered out for the first time ever in his career, which Braun Strowman posted a thing on Twitter basically disproving Paul Heyman, which Paul Heyman, I would say, jokingly responded to, but it was not technically the first time Roman had to get stretchered out. But Bronson Reed brought up how the Wild Samoans never had to get stretchered out. I liked that tie in there.
Yeah, that was
and he questioned how they would feel seeing Roman Reigns have to be stretchered out like that. And Roman said Bronson Reed didn't know them. Sika would have said, fight him now. And he challenged Bronson Reed to go to the ring. Paul Heyman stopped him. And Paul laid out the challenge for Crown Jewel in an Australian street fight. People do not know what an Australian street fight is.
I know I don't. I'm just going to assume that it's a regular street fight.
I'm assuming there's cricket bats. I assume there better be a boomerang. There has to be, right? I mean, there doesn't have to be, but at least a cricket bat, I think, will most likely be used.
I don't
know.
But
Roman
I
said
just
it
want to
was
see
too
a
easy.
blow-up alligator. Well, I guess just a crocodile. Crocodile.
I feel like, did we see that?
I kind of that. I feel like I'm saying that because I feel like we've seen that before.
It was in that. I think it must have been with it was with 3MB. I think Hornswoggle had that.
That's funny.
I'm almost certain against the Los Matadores and El Torito. I think. But Roman Reigns said it was easy. He'll accept that. No, not a problem, not a challenge at all. He egged on Bronson Reed to get down to the ring. Bronson Reed left and headed towards the ring, and it led to a brawl.
Yeah, and it was just one heck of a brawl. I don't know what's...
We saw the Usos offer their help at Crown for Crown Jewel to Roman Reigns, and Roman's like, I don't need your help. And Jay should be focused on himself. And then he questioned who's talking at the top of the hour, alluding to CM Punk. That gets in Jay's head. And then when Jay left, he questioned Jimmy. I assume about his reaction from last week, asking what's wrong with Jay taking his advice, given how, I guess, disgusted Jimmy looked last week. So we'll put a pin in all that.
Yeah. Next up, you had Maxine Dupree pick up the victory over Becky Lynch, but not your typical picking up a victory. It was by count out. Becky Lynch getting way too arrogant.
Yeah, but I think before we even talk about the match, I want to say Maxine has been absolutely training her butt off with Natalya. She's been working NXT live events. And I liked that we got to see more from Maxine this time. That the ankle lock reversal, I think we've seen her do those in the training videos. I'm not 100% sure if we've seen her do that on TV. She kicked out after a superplex. That, to me, was unexpected. She reversed the disarm her to put it into a pin. And then she locked in another ankle lock. She was doing a lot. She hit that spin kick, and Becky Lynch kicked out at the very, very, very last second. I really thought that was about to be it. And then she almost won with her feet on the ropes. She was cheating after Becky Lynch had cheated. So, to me, that is fine because she was getting back at a heel for cheating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but they fought outside. They fought outside. I don't agree with the Prime bottle not being a DQ though. How about yourself? I feel like if you hit somebody with a Prime bottle, how is that not?
Yeah,
a DQ.
You are accurate with that. It should have been a disqualification because, as everybody knows, it is a foreign object.
But maybe they'll say like, "Oh, it's just part of the ringside area now."
Mm-hmm. I guess if somebody's Irish whipping somebody into the steel steps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But although it was used as a weapon. So, but like you said, Becky Lynch got cocky. She taunted the crowd thinking Maxine was passed out. Maxine made it back in. Becky Lynch did not. So we got a victory is a victory.
Yeah. I
wasn't expecting to see that.
I agree with you.
After that, we saw Roxanne Perez pick up the victory over Lyra Valkyria. Bayley was ringside for this after Lyra had asked her to accompany her to the ring. This, I thought, was a good back-and-forth match. Lyra, I forget at what point, Lyra had her arm hurt during it.
Mm-hmm.
And Raquel ends up distracting the referee, which allowed for Roxanne to try to take advantage. Bayley grabbed Lyra's arm to stop Roxanne from taking advantage of anything. I thought that was going to cost Lyra the match there with like her having a hurt arm and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was the other arm that Bayley was pulling on. So Raquel takes her out, and instead of hitting the Nightwing, she ends up taking Raquel Rodriguez out. And then Roxanne hits that suicide tornado DDT. She hits the Pop Rocks in the ring and gets the victory over Lyra. If she did not focus on Raquel, I think she would have had that match won. That pissed her off. It pissed Bayley off. And they ended up attacking the Judgment Day backstage afterwards. So, I'm a fan of what they're doing with this. I don't know when we'll see more of that other side of Bayley coming out.
I think we have to. I think especially with everything that's taking place, I think we're going to have to see that happen. But yeah. Next up, you had Penta and AJ Lee.
Nope. Yeah, Kairi Sane.
I went one ahead. Kairi Sane picking up the victory over Io Sky. This was a solid matchup between the two of them, and I don't think that we would expect anything else.
Asuka's the reason why this took place. She got she got Kairi the match. Kairi didn't want to do this at all. And Asuka slapped her and told her that she better win. We saw a video from Io, and she said her and Asuka aren't family anymore. And Io attacked Asuka before this match even started. And then she and Kairi had a very fun match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this match.
I agree. I think that there's nothing that negative to be taken away from this. I think Kairi Sane and Io Sky are two of the best around right now.
Yeah. Io got her legs up for that insane elbow, though. And Asuka got on the apron, when Io went up for that over the moonsault, and Kairi pinned Io. Asuka grabbed Kairi's arm for leverage, and that gave Kairi the victory there.
Yeah.
And then the Kabuki Warriors attacked Io afterwards. Kairi, it seemed like she still didn't want to do that.
I don't know. I think Kairi is still doing it. She's heel, dude.
I mean, but she's being forced to do it.
I don't know. If I was Io and Kairi tried to be friends with me again, I'd be like, no, you're hitting me with the elbow drop. No.
I mean, she's forcing her to do it.
And
in that moment, I think a lot of people were expecting Rhea, myself included. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that could then put doubt into Io's head. Can I trust Rhea Ripley?
Mm-hmm.
They have a match coming up.
True. But next up is Penta and AJ Lee picking up the victory over the Judgment Day.
AJ Styles tried to talk before the match, and the Judgment Day cut him off. And then the match actually happened. I found this to be quite chaotic at times.
Mm-hmm.
I like the constant tags from the Judgment Day. I feel like that's something we would see from a face tag team instead of a heel tag team.
Mm-hmm.
When they were tagging in and out for Dragon Lee, keeping him separated from AJ Styles and Penta. I also liked the DDT that Penta did to Finn Balor, but we saw Rusev come out. Dominic ends up leaving. He wanted nothing to do with Rusev being out there, and Penta tried to take Dom out in that moment. He hits Rusev. I thought Rusev was going to end up costing them the match because of that. But he gets taken out there. AJ Styles hits the Styles Clash on JD McDonough, gets the victory there. And then afterwards, AJ cut that promo he wanted to talk about John Cena. He was just hyping up the match at Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that. We had earlier in the night CM Punk at that 10 o'clock hour talk about getting the World Heavyweight Championship back and how he's earned it. And then LA Knight came out and said that he's also earned it. And then LA Knight called CM Punk a trash champion. CM Punk poked fun at him for, I guess, never being champion. And then Jey Uso interrupted and said that he's the one who has next. That's Jey listening to Roman Reigns. And LA Knight told Jey that he should probably focus more on the tag titles and being in the Usos and stop sucking. Which then Jimmy came out. Jey hit LA Knight with a super kick. CM Punk said what LA Knight did and said that he likes Jey. He doesn't like little Roman. And Jey was not good with that.
No.
And Jimmy stopped Jey from super kicking CM Punk. CM Punk slapped the hell out of Jey Uso. And then Jimmy super kicked CM Punk, and that sets up the main event.
Yeah,
and then later on, Jimmy said that he's not like Roman Reigns, and Jey isn't either. And Roman said that when Jey won the World Heavyweight Championship, he became more like him and less like Jimmy. And then basically told him to get out of Jey's way.
I don't like how this is headed. I know that entire...
In my head, I can't see where this is headed.
The only thing I could... originally the only thing I thought of was LA Knight joining the Vision, which, it could still happen. But I feel like there's just so much chaos with the four of these wrestlers right now where I don't know. Well, I guess five because
I would say
Roman
5.
Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so much chaos because CM Punk has his beef with Roman Reigns too. There's just so much. Sometimes it's getting hard to predict what's going to be next.
Which I guess that's good for wrestling fans.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then the main event, we actually saw the Usos pick up the victory over CM Punk and LA Knight. Got started right off the bat. The bell rang with all four of them in the ring. And, they did a ton in this match. In the end, CM Punk hit that GTS on Jey. And actually, it was LA Knight and CM Punk got the victory there. Because LA Knight tagged himself in and got the victory.
Causing tension.
Yeah.
I don't know. Raw was kind of underwhelming for me.
I would like I don't need to see those matches with the Usos and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if you're going to say who's carrying Monday Night Raw right now, for me, it's Bayley, it's Lyra, it's Io, Asuka, Kairi. Mainly the women, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Monday Night Raw. Moving over to NXT versus TNA Showdown. Kicked off with the Hardy Boyz picking up the victory over Dark State to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. We saw the Dudley Boyz sitting ringside for this. That hypes up their match this weekend for Bound for Glory. I guess to start the match, all 4 members of Dark State jumped the Hardys. I felt like this match is kind of off.
Yeah. There was a lot of, dare I say it, there was a lot of botches that took place.
Even like the ending to me was off. I feel like they recovered from it, but Matt hits the Twist of Fate. Jeff Hardy hits the Swanton. I got what I wanted out of that match. We have the Hardy Boyz as the 4th ever Grand Slam champions for NXT, for tag teams, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, that automatically pushes them, it has to push them up the ranks in anybody's top tag team list. I mean, the Hardy Boyz showing
I think if you're making a top tag team list, you're not caring about this. I don't think that needs to push them up at all. I feel like they're already up.
I think that getting a title within the WWE universe at the stage that they're at, I think that definitely shows that you can still do it and hang. I would say that definitely boosts. But yeah, it'll be interesting, especially going into Team 3D versus the Hardy Boyz at TNA's next event.
That's now on the line.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible and fun.
People seem to think that because those titles are on the line that TNA or WWE spoiled the outcome of that.
Why is that?
Well, you could say, well, there's no way Devon and Bubba are winning the NXT titles. I can't necessarily say that. It could be a way to vacate the NXT championships as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see. But next up, you had Team NXT pick up the victory over Team TNA. Both teams absolutely stacked. You had NXT featuring JC Jane, Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, and Lola Vice. And then Team TNA, the Inspiration, Mara Sade, and Kalani Jordan. And it was just a lot of action. Back and forth action.
Jordan Grace was the referee here.
Oh, yes. True.
The Inspiration used their WWE theme song. I was happy to hear that. I do wonder if it's because they wanted people to be familiar with who was coming out with different names.
I saw that a potential reason was because Harley Cameron does their TNA theme song.
But there were other people. I know people thought that as well, but other people had their WWE theme songs too.
Yeah, but it's not made by Harley, AEW superstar.
But it's still like the same thing as they had their WWE theme song as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mustafa Ali had his WWE theme song, and then it went into the TNA theme song. But when we saw JDC originally, he came out to the Fandango theme song, and then he used the JDC theme song. So we get it here and there. So I don't know what it could. I can't say that it wasn't because of Harley Cameron. Mackenzie Mitchell announced this match, so it was nice to see her back on TV there. I still don't know how Lash Legend wasn't part of this match, with Mara Sade part of it. This was super chaotic. Jordan Grace, at the beginning, she tries to stop the chaos, and she's like, screw it, and let them all fight. It was awesome to see the Inspiration back in the WWE. ring. Wrestling, I should say. I forgot this was an elimination match at that point. That they said it was a Survivor Series elimination match. Mm-hmm. And it was under control at times, but this, like I said, there was so much chaos to it. We saw Sade eliminate Jada Parker. Sol Ruka almost immediately eliminated her after that. Lola Vice eliminated Cassie Lee, and then Jessie McKay tried to roll up Lola Vice. She ends up choked out. And then Kalani Jordan, she's left there by herself.
Yeah, not even the TNA superstar being the last one standing. She just
missed making that save on that pin, and it was 3-on-1 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Kalani had JC out, and the Inspiration had Jordan Grace distracted. I still, in my head, I don't understand why that happened. And then Team NXT started arguing with one another. And Kalani sent Lola Vice into JC Jane. She eliminated her. And then Kalani hit a Spanish Fly. She went for a 450. Sol Ruka got her knees up. And then when Sol Ruka went for that Soul Snatcher, just saw this on Monday Night Raw, she hits the Soul Snatcher. JC Jane tags herself in, gets that win.
And that Soul Snatcher is just such a cool finisher.
But I appreciated that heel finish from JC Jane there. Mm-hmm. Wanting the victory credit as the team captain.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. Next up, you had Ethan Page pick up the victory over Mustafa Ali. And as you mentioned, Mustafa Ali's entrance coming out to that WWE theme song, but only to switch over to his current theme song. This match was cooking.
This was the best match of the night, 100%. This was great. We saw Ethan Page tried to leave at one point. Mustafa Ali wasn't letting him leave. They went on for a long time after that. These matches, I think, went longer than I expected any of them to. This match more so, though. And I don't even think this was Mustafa Ali trying to prove to WWE that he shouldn't have been released when he was maybe about to win that North American Championship. I just think he's literally he's this good. There's no, zero on the dial for him.
Mm-hmm.
When Mustafa Ali had that backslide pin, I did not think Mustafa Ali was going to win this match, but when he did that backslide pin, I was like,
it got you.
I think that's about to be a new champion.
Wow.
They went outside of the ring and I think had one of the most creative finishes to make it look like Mustafa Ali, he didn't lose cleanly here. It's not like Ethan Page cheated, but he didn't lose clean.
Mm-hmm.
He went to get back into the ring and his foot was stuck on the cable from the commentary cord, from the commentary table. And Ethan Page was able to, he pushed Mustafa Ali off the top turnbuckle into the barricade off of that. And he still had the rope tied around him, the cord. Ethan Page hit that twisted grin. I thought that was a very, very creative finish.
I agree. I thought that it was a creative finish, and I like that. I think that Ethan Page is good that he did pick up the victory to retain the championship, but I like everything going into this matchup. They made it make sense with it being Mustafa Ali challenging.
And then we saw El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. interviewed afterwards, saying that he's coming for the North American Championship. Lexis King showed up. He's like, I know you're Tavion Heights. He told him to take the mask off. And then he left, and the real Tavion Heights showed up, and Lexis King was like, how did you do that? Which is really funny.
Yeah.
So next week we have Lexis King versus Tavion Heights, I think. I think we might have Dr. Wagner Jr. also versus Ethan Page. I'm not 100% sure on that.
That I don't know. I feel like I think that they did make mention of it.
Maybe it's just Lexis King versus Tavion Heights next week. Mm-hmm. But main event saw Team TNA, Mike Santana, Leon Slater, Kazarian, and Moose pick up the victory over Team NXT, the champion, Ricky Saints, the TNA champion, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Miles Bourne. Joe Hendry was the referee. People thought Joe Hendry might turn on one of the brands in this match.
This,
like the other match,
same thing.
This was chaotic. Who'd you think he was turning on, though?
That I wasn't too sure with. I wasn't
so
too sure.
How could you have thought?
Yeah.
How could you have half of that thought?
I don't know. I thought that he was going to turn, and if anything, I thought that he was going to turn on TNA, but it could have went either way. Especially with everything, with the rumors and speculation of his contract being done and WWE having interest.
Well, Miles Bourne was eliminated pretty quickly by Kazarian. Booker T wasn't even happy that Miles Bourne was on this team. I don't know why, but it seemed like he was happy when Miles Bourne got eliminated. Also, I was expecting there to be some of the TNA commentators here as well.
That would have been
would you not have
nice
thought that?
addition.
Yeah, I don't know why that didn't happen, especially Mac Mitchell on the announcing for that other match.
Mm-hmm.
But the next elimination after Miles Bourne took much longer to happen. We saw Leon Slater caught Javon Evans like mid-air and pinned him to eliminate him. And it was awesome to see everybody in this match featured. Trick Williams ends up walking out on Ricky Saints. And Ricky Saints was able to eliminate Frankie Kazarian. He got his knees up for the 450 Swanton. And he pinned Leon Slater. Moose accidentally speared Santana. But they end up coming back. They beat Ricky Saints. They tied it up 2-2. But the Hardy Boyz walked out with titles.
Yeah, but I think that it was great that Team TNA stood on top at the end of this pay-per-view. Them coming out of that...
Not pay-per-view.
Yeah, this
special event TV show.
But Team TNA, I'm happy that they picked up the victory, especially because you had so many people complaining previously about TNA not getting any victories. And I think that tonight they really did. I mean, they walked away with one championship, and then they walked away with bragging rights that they picked up the victory over Team NXT.
And then backstage we saw Ava and Santino, where they're like, "Oh, those partnerships on better terms now." And then Ava announced that there's a number one contender battle royal to see who faces JC Jane at Halloween Havoc. And she wanted to include the Knockouts division.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very much so looking forward to NXT next week. It's a taped episode. I have not seen any spoilers. I'm hoping I don't get spoiled. Spoiled? So that is NXT. Moving over to SmackDown. It kicks off with a video, what seemed like the longest video ever of them getting the Crown Jewel Championships from Saudi Arabia to Australia. I 100% get it. I could have done without it. But the show actually opens with Cody Rhodes. He spoke about Seth Rollins. He said that Seth is becoming the kind of man that Seth helped him defeat, that being Roman Reigns. And he said that there's plenty of people who can step up and be in that number one spot, like Randy Orton, like Roman Reigns. I found that weird to mention Roman Reigns when he just mentioned Roman Reigns being like the evil, even though Roman Reigns is no longer the evil that we know of, at least. He mentioned Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, CM Punk, but he also said he could be talking about Seth Rollins. And he said that Cody is the one person that Seth can't beat. Maybe I missed something, maybe I didn't, I don't know. This really didn't do anything to further promote their match, in my opinion. Yet backstage, Jacob Fatu teasing that he wants the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre attacked him. Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes couldn't have gotten that far from Jacob Fatu. Nick Aldis did show up again, and McIntyre said that he needs to talk to Nick Aldis. And then later on, Nick Aldis told Drew McIntyre if he just waited, if he just waited, he was about to tell Jacob Fatu that he has a match with Drew McIntyre on SmackDown next week. And then Jacob Fatu jumped Drew McIntyre. They brawled. The first match saw Shinsuke Nakamura returning to television pick up the victory over Sami Zayn in that US Open Challenge match via disqualification. It was great to see Nakamura wrestling on TV again. I think it's been 4 months. I liked Nakamura's new gear. The match was pretty even. Shinsuke Nakamura reversed, I think, maybe like 3 attempts of that haluva kick. Of the Blue Thunder Bomb. And then Sami Zayn ends up hitting an exploder into the barricade. He hits a haluva kick into the barricade. Sami got back into the ring. He got Nakamura back into the ring. And when Sami got back in, Nakamura rocked him with the Kinshasa. Nakamura hit the Scorpio Rising. And then somebody in a hood, a black sweatshirt, showed up. You could see his face. I marked out right away. The fans maybe didn't realize who it was right away. He takes off his hood. He reveals that it's Tama Tonga in the Gorillas of Destiny face paint. And then Tama Tonga showed up. JC Mateo, Tonga Loa showed up. They all had their faces painted as well. They all jumped Sami Zayn. They all jumped Shinsuke Nakamura. I was marking out big time for this segment. And I'll put a pin in that for now. You had Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton pick up the victory over Julia and Kiana James. This stemmed from what happened last week. Kiana again tried to get Stephanie Vaquer to join, but went to attack her when she wasn't shaking her hand. Stephanie Vaquer very quickly got the Devil's Kiss in. And then despite that, they kept Stephanie Vaquer in the ring for a while and had control of it. Tiffany Stratton finally got that hot tag, took both of them down. She, I think, was way more over than Stephanie Vaquer. I wasn't expecting that. But Vaquer, I don't know what to expect for Crown Jewel. But Vaquer hit that new SVB on Kiana James. Julia broke it up. Michael Cole called it the modified Angel's Wings. So I don't know if they're sticking with the SVB there. But Stephanie Vaquer took Julia out. Tiffany Stratton tagged herself in, hit the prettiest moonsault ever on Kiana James, got that victory. Backstage, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte were there, spoke to Zaruka. I thought maybe Zaruka was in Australia. Probably not. They just wrestled at an NXT live event in the States, so I thought it would have been cool if Zarya was in Australia for this. But Alexa Bliss said that Zaruka is not ready for them, and Zarya told them to prove it if they think they're not actually ready. Sol was like, you guys had an opportunity at one point. All we're asking for is an opportunity to prove ourselves. And then Charlotte granted it. And I thought the ending was funny because Zaruka bumped into one another. And Alexa Bliss is like, they're not even on the same page. And then she and Charlotte Flair walked in opposite directions. And Alexa's like, this way, Charlotte. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, the Wyatt Six pick up the victory over the Street Profits to retain the Tag Team Championships. Street Profits had their old theme song back. This was another even match. I think the best spot was Dawkins getting both Wyatts up on the shoulders for that Doomsday Blockbuster. We saw Nikki Cross and B-Fab get into it a little bit. Eric Rowan got involved. Dawkins jumped out, took him out. And I think it'd be safe to say that if he didn't do that, he would have been there to save Montez Ford from losing. So that could further that split between the Street Profits. Montez Ford could be like, where were you for me last week? And then after the match, the MFTs showed up. The crowd was going absolutely nuts for that stare down between the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. Nikki Cross got in Solo Sikoa's face, and Solo backed them off and they left. So it looks like we're getting the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six. Maybe we'll get like a full MFT and or just Solo Sikoa and MFTs as champions. The main event saw Aleister Black pick up the victory over Damian Priest in a last man standing match. I think for this to have that stipulation, it started pretty tame. Overall, overall it was pretty tame. I enjoyed this match though, big time. They were fighting on the outside. They were up on the entrance ramp. It wasn't anything super crazy, but it picked up big time. They used the ring steps. They had kendo sticks. I liked that superplex tease from Damian Priest onto the steps. They didn't do the superplex, but Damian Priest ends up getting hit with the Meteora onto the steps. There was also a sunset flip powerbomb into the steps later on, but Priest ends up chokeslamming Aleister Black onto the apron, hits the Razor's Edge onto the commentary table, which Aleister Black at the very last second gets up. So he eats another Razor's Edge onto the commentary table, gets up again. They took it to the crowd, onto like the production cases or whatever, and Zelina Vega showed up and begged Damian Priest to stop. Damian Priest ends up throwing, Aleister Black ends up throwing a fireball at Damian Priest and hits the Black Mass. Damian Priest falls off the production case through a table. Aleister Black gets the victory there. I thought that was awesome. So I'm very much so looking forward to whatever they have cooking with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. I enjoyed this episode of SmackDown, but that was SmackDown. Gonna do predictions for Crown Jewel taking place at the RAC Arena in Perth, Australia. Down under. Crazy start time this whole weekend.
Do we know what the main event is?
I mean, based off the internet rumors, it was Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in the Australian street fight.
Huh. Good for Bronson Reed. That's cool. All right, let's go with that one then. We'll go with Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns in the Australian street fight. I'm going to go with Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I think if we're doing a match like this, Bronson Reed needs to win this.
Yeah, I think that would be a great boost for him, especially coming back from injury, which he's been back for a while already. But to get a win over Roman Reigns, but I don't know if it's going to be a full clean victory. I mean, it's a street fight.
I see
anything
multiple
can
people
happen, and anybody can get involved.
Yeah.
So, tag team matchup: Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking on the Kabuki Warriors. I'm going to go with Ripley and Sky.
I feel like, well, the Kabuki Warriors had the upper hand on Monday Night Raw, so I'm going to say Rhea Ripley and Io Sky will most likely walk out with that victory. I think the Kabuki Warriors need that win, and if they don't win, then I think maybe we could see Asuka take it out on Kairi.
I don't know. I don't think we're going to see the end of Kabuki Warriors.
I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. Like I said, they're part of the anchor of Monday Night Raw for me. We have John Cena taking on AJ Styles one last time. If John Cena wins, this is his 100th victory on a PLE.
Wow.
/ pay-per-view. I think. I could be wrong on that. I forget if that's what they said.
Do we know what his future lined up is?
Yeah, retirement.
Yeah, but PLE-wise?
Which, by the way, I feel like that could be going the mark out moment. I could just add this right now. I'm in the freaking commercial for John Cena's final match.
That is awesome. Are you really?
Yeah.
That should be mark out moment.
And I won't ever get to. I won't get to go. I won't get to see him on this tour. I saw him in Fanatics Fest. That's my see you later, John.
So who?
But I'm gonna say John Cena wins.
So you think his number 100 is going to be against AJ Styles?
Well, I'm almost certain it's his 100th. I'm not 100% sure on that though. The only person in front of him right now is Undertaker. So regardless, he's at. He's not going to beat Undertaker. But
it's tough. But I'll go with John Cena.
Crown Jewel on the line. Stephanie Vaquer, the Raw Women's Champion, taking on Tiffany Stratton, the SmackDown WWE Champion, Women's Champion. Stephanie Vaquer has to win this. I said this the other week.
Agreed.
Tiffany Stratton's been on such a tear through that women's division. Losing to Stephanie Vaquer doesn't harm her.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think Stephanie Vaquer has to pick up this victory. I think it would be very dominant for her.
Somebody seemingly maybe having problems with Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins, that being. In the main event, or not main event, we have the Crown Jewel Championship on the line. Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, not defending the championship. Facing Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion, who previously won the Crown Jewel Championship. Seth has to win this.
I agree with you. I'm going with Seth Rollins on this one. He needs to pick up the victory, especially after what Paul Heyman said to Seth Rollins backstage on Raw. I think Seth Rollins needs this victory, especially more than Cody Rhodes.
So that's Crown Jewel. Going to take a quick little break, and I'll be right back here on Markin Out.
It's the most professional wrestler, TNA star, and proud member of the system, Brian Myerson. You're listening to Markin Out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out episode 766. Moving back to AEW Collision from last week, it opened up with the Death Riders picking up the victory over Adam Priest, Tommy Billington, and Jay Lethal. I would really like to see Adam Priest and Tommy Billington pushed as a tag team. I think they're very entertaining in the ring, but I don't want to get invested in matches where it's so blatantly obvious who's winning. Billington and Priest have 0 wins in AEW. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Billington has maybe 1 win, a 16-man tag or something, on a kickoff show, if I remember correctly. But Matt Menard yelled at Daniel Garcia afterwards. Garcia told him off. You had Jamie Hayter pick up the victory over Anna Jay. I thought this match was pretty even. I need tag matches. Matches that at least make it look like they introduced new titles. If Ty Mello and Anna Jay's main goal is to become tag team champions, I need to see them working as a tag team. You had LFI pick up the victory over Cha-Cha, Shane Stetson. This was a pointless match. LFI, they need tag team victories, but they need victories against people, real people in AEW, like FTR or something, not Cha-Cha and Shane Stetson. No offense to either of them, but they don't need victories over enhancement talent. Yet Eddie Kingston pick up the victory over Dralistico. This was like the last match. Eddie Kingston needs to be built back up as well. So he should have won, but Dralistico is somebody who desperately needs victories in AEW. He has one singles win in AEW back in 2022. You had the Don Callis family pick up the victory over Maximum Male Models and John Morrison. John's last TV victory was 2023. Maximum Male Models' last win in AEW was 2024. Why would people care about seeing these people wrestle? They've given us 0 reasons to care. Josh Alexander was he was beyond lucky to be placed in this team. In that moment, at least. You had Kevin Knight pick up the victory over Dax Harwood. Fully expected Dax to win this. But Cash got involved. Willow pulled him off the apron. Speedball dropped him. He went into the ring, dropped him, went out of the ring. Then Knight ends up hitting that frog splash over Stokely onto Dax to get that victory. Dax was down way too long for that frog splash, but this match I thought was good. Afterwards, Stokely got in Willow's face, and she went to powerbomb him. Dax ends up holding on to his leg. That was kind of goofy. I don't know if Megan Bayne was late to the spot or what, but Megan Bayne showed up. She attacked Willow. I don't know if that's how... I mean, why are they not building to Blood and Guts? They announced it. even if this is part of the build to it, why are you not like actively going out of your way to say this is blood and guts? We want this match as blood and guts. You had Tony Storm and Chris Statlander. I don't know, man. A segment like this, I didn't get them brawling on Dynamite the other week. To me, that made no sense. They both end up laying down in the ring to talk to one another, like head to head. And then they brawled again afterwards, or I guess technically during this. But both of them end up getting attacked by the Triangle of Madness. Harley Cameron attacked Tekla. And as Sky Blue and Julia Hart were beating them down, Chris Statlander and Tony Storm magically get up to beat them down. Why wouldn't Tony Storm and Chris Statlander, if they were so adamant on brawling last week, brawling on Collision, why would they not continue to keep fighting one another after that part gets broken up? That made no sense. Which is why I don't think they should have been fighting like that. It made no sense. You had the main event, Orange Cassidy and Paragon pick up the victory of the Don Callis family. This was the B team of the Don Callis family losing. That should not have been the main event. I don't know why anyone would have viewed this as the main event. Orange Cassidy was in it, maybe that's why. But the rest of the Don Callis family show up afterwards just for Kyle to flaunt the TNT Championship. Mr. Return to AEW Andrade was not with them. And I'll put a pin in that. Moving over to AEW Dynamite, it kicked off at Daly's Place. Hangman, Samoa Joe having a face-to-face. Hangman was very confused about Samoa Joe's reaction to the championship last week. And he said without Joe, he couldn't have won that championship. Without the Ops, I should say also. But Samoa Joe said he doesn't see Hangman as the pinnacle. He sees him as a fraud. And then Hangman yelled back at Samoa Joe for that. I don't think Hangman comes off as the pinnacle. I know a lot of people think so. I'm not saying he sucks. I just don't think he's main event. They've done nothing to build him to that level. You had Jon Moxley in the first match pick up the victory over Ishii. I don't ever need to see this match again, but I have to say that this was probably the most enjoyable match I've seen from Ishii in AEW, which I think is absolutely a very shocking thing to say. For me, that was I was not expecting. I thought I was going into this match, I was like, I've seen every Ishii match in AEW. It's the exact same thing. It's boring. I've seen every Jon Moxley match in AEW. It's boring. This, somehow, I don't know how, this was entertaining. Ishii at one point started bleeding after a brain buster. I don't know if it was the forearms, though, beforehand. That was probably what happened, but they kept going a while after that. Jon Moxley ends up choking him out to get that victory. You had the Hurt Business pick up the victory over the Demand in a street fight. I was confused by the Hurt Business wearing nice clothing for this match, but I think the craziest spot was when Ricochet did that shooting star press to Shelton Benjamin, who was set up on a table. The table didn't break. Then it got weird where he waved on MVP. MVP ran and put Shelton Benjamin and Toa Leona through the table. That was weird. I thought another spot I thought was dumb was when Shelton Benjamin had Ricochet up for a powerbomb, and instead of Bishop Khan just hitting Shelton Benjamin with a chair, he gave Ricochet the chair. So Ricochet could hit him with it. That just didn't, it made no sense. You wasted time. It made no sense. And then the end of the match, Shelton Benjamin ends up hitting a German suplex through a table to Ricochet, gets that victory. You had Jurassic Express pick up the victory over Kevin Matthews and somebody named Orion. You beat Enhancement Talent. Big whoop. You beat a producer who has 0 wins in the company. How, after 2 years, we haven't seen them team in 2 years. Let's put them against people who don't matter. They don't have any victories. There's nothing there. There's no substance there. Why would we care about the Jurassic Express facing off the Young Bucks by watching Jurassic Express beat a backstage producer and an enhancement talent who's not signed to AEW? Bizarre. Before that match took place, though, the Young Bucks backstage knocking on Tony Khan's door. Nick Jackson wanted a money match, and that absolutely popped the hell out of me. That was a probably one of the funniest things I've seen from the Young Bucks. I thought that was really funny. But then they showed up during the match in the crowd because they had bought tickets. They spent the rest of their money or whatever to get tickets. And then they attacked Jurassic Express after the match. They challenged them for Wrestle Dream. That gets made official. You had Kyle Fletcher pick up the victory over Kyle O'Reilly to retain. Obviously, Kyle O'Reilly's not winning this match. But the Don Callis family had an segment earlier on. Again, no Andrade. How are you going to have Andrade make this big return to AEW, join the Don Callis family, have zero follow-up? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. You had Roderick Strong and Ishii after this match run down to fight. You had Rocky Romero show up. Mark Briscoe made the save. The next match, Mercedes Moné picked up the victory over Lacey Lane to retain the TBS Championship. Awesome to see Lacey on television. Obviously, she wasn't winning this match, but she got a promo, a video segment beforehand. I think more women should 100% have been on this episode. I think given that it was 2.5 hours long, how do you not book more than one women's match? Like I said, you're building tag team championships by not having women wrestle. Make that make sense. This match, though, I thought was very entertaining. Trash referee as usual, though. She's literally always in people's ways. Always. Yet Takeshita and Okada pick up the victory over Brodito. If Brodito won this match, whoever pinned would get a shot at Okada's championship. But since the Don Callis family won, they get shots at the tag team championships. Takeshita had the match fully won, but Okada tagged himself in, gets the victory off of that, and then Takeshita pushed him afterwards. Obviously, they're building to Takeshita and Okada a super slow build to that. Super slow. The main event saw Orange Cassidy pick up the victory over Pac. I think you had to know the outcome of this. I wish Pac won. But his new hair, he's got new gear. I don't know what's happening there. He looks like a custom Titantron Live figure. I did like Pac, like, slowly rolling out of the way of Orange Cassidy, like Orange Cassidy would do. But he tried to leave. Orange Cassidy went after him, and then Pac ends up tombstoning him in the crowd on those stands. But Darby Allin, which the referee, by the way, in that spot was funny too because he's like super goofy. But Darby Allin ends up chaining Pac to the guardrail. Somehow, I have no idea how Pac got out of it. He just left that spot with chain around his foot. The referee thought nothing of it. But he beats the 10 count, immediately gets rolled up by Orange Cassidy to get that victory there. And then Darby goaded Pac and sprayed him in the eyes with something. The Death Rider showed up. Darby pulls out a taser. Marina Shafir tries to stop them from going after him. And then Darby Allin pulls out a Molotov cocktail. A random security spears the absolute hell out of Darby Allin into garbage cans, which was, I think outside of that exploding barbed wire ring spot, this might be the second funniest thing I've ever seen in AEW. The security guard, you have a security guard that just took out your talent. Why would we care about seeing Darby Allin? It was hilarious. That's the end of Dynamite. Hey, Brandon, got any shout-outs?
what's up? It's my Daddy Jack, and you're listening to Brian's Shoutouts.
The first shout out, of course, goes to Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl, her brand new, her 12th album, just came out last week. I think it's great. It's a pop album, completely different from what we've had in the last few albums. I feel like the best thing that I could say about this is that it feels like I've been listening to it for like 20 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it just feels familiar. No, it feels familiar to me. Like it just feels like
it just feels familiar.
Yeah, and I mean I have been listening to it a lot. I can't pick a favorite track. I don't think there's a skip on this album.
Oh, so you just can't pick one at all?
No, I just think they're all good. There are some that I enjoy more than others, but I'm not going to say it's like my favorite track.
Which
I could say
two
The Fate
do
of
you enjoy
Ophelia
more
is a
than
good
others?
song. I like that song. Elizabeth Taylor's a good song. Opalite.
I think that's
Wood
the one
was
I heard.
controversial. That's not one that I need to ever hear.
What is it?
Wood.
Mm-hmm.
It's about superstitions if you're asking Taylor Swift on TV, but I'm pretty sure it's about Travis Kelce's football and what's another term I can say? Field goal post? I don't know. Does that make sense? There's two of them, so maybe not. It seems like it's talking about human anatomy for that. To me, it's fine if people hate it. I feel like some people are going out of their way to make it known that they hate it. But to me, the songs are just bops. You're not going to catch me dancing or anything, but let people enjoy what they enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the need to go out there and be like, this album sucks. You suck. You suck for listening to it.
I mean, everybody's going to like what they like.
Yeah. But I feel like when it comes to Taylor Swift, people dislike more. They let it know, they make it known more that I'm so and so and I dislike this person.
Yeah.
My next shout out goes to The Naked Gun, which is now streaming on Paramount Plus. I finally saw it. I thought for sure you saw this in theaters. This to me was so spot on to what the original movies were. I could say I really wish that Leslie Nielsen was here to have seen this, but if he was still here, I don't think we would have had this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was so good at comedy, and someone like Liam Neeson, who you don't expect to be good at comedy, just absolutely knocks it out of the park. I'm shocked that it's not at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Did you enjoy this movie?
I did. I thought it was very humorous. I thought that the slapstick comedy aspects were spot on. It was a perfect derivative of the originals. Well, of the original.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how it's not at 100%. Like it's like it fits it to the T.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does a fantastic job on that in this movie in that role. There are 3 pro wrestlers in this. I guess I could say 3 technically. Paul Walter Hauser, I'll count him as a pro wrestler. I think he should get more credit than he gets for pro wrestling.
I still don't know why he bashed Fantastic Four as a movie.
I don't know why he said what he said about WWE ticket prices recently.
Yeah, he's making stupid moves.
For the hell of it, I mean, yes, WWE ticket prices are ridiculously priced, but the market is the market. NFL, you look up an NFL game, and I saw it was the Jets versus, I think it might have been the Eagles. The cheapest ticket for all the way up 300 section was $150. And people are paying that. I can't believe stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, the ticket prices are absurd. I mean, I know I'm not paying anything like that to go to a wrestling event.
The other pro wrestler in this was Cody Rhodes. The third pro wrestler, I don't remember ever seeing being mentioned. Should we spoil it?
Yeah, Batista.
Would it be a spoiler at this point? Yeah, I popped big time to see Batista there.
Yeah, spoiler, that I marked out for that. I marked out for Batista being there. And he was there as Dave Batista.
Yeah.
And
I hope there's a sequel to this movie. I enjoyed this big time.
Yeah, they did a great job, him and Pamela Anderson, too. It was great seeing Pamela Anderson back in a movie.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, and it's nice to see her just back out there again.
And of course, all the other cameos from the past movies and stuff. It was great to see everybody.
Huge mark out moment was the end. The end credits where they actually they played the intro to the original movie.
Yeah.
With the police siren going through all like the locker room and this and that. I marked out for that throwback.
Now, I told you there was a post-credit scene or whatever. Did you stay for that?
No, I got bored. And I think I missed it, and then I tried to rewind it, and I couldn't get it, and I was just said, forget this.
It was Weird Al. It ties in with the original as well.
Oh, I saw Weird Al early in the movie, though.
It was him again, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was cool to see Weird Al in there, too.
I saw the B-52s and Devo on Sunday at Jones Beach. And I could 100% give them a shout out for the concert overall, but I think they kind of deserve an anti-shout out.
Okay, why? Dish.
In all my years going to concerts, 2007, I went to my very first concert. Back then, some of the bands I would see were like so old that they didn't really have many things at the merch tables. Some people would have signed CDs, and you'd pick up a signed CD for like $20 or something like that. But I've never seen a more carny merch stand for their merch than this concert. I get selling signed merchandise. I get signed merchandise being more money. But a tour poster should not cost $100. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't think it was a limited or numbered poster. The first concert poster that I got was in 2014. It was a signed Peter Frampton poster at Jones Beach. Because up until that point, I wasn't getting concert posters because I would almost always get a program if they had one. Mm-hmm. This concert, I figured, oh, well, look at that. That poster, I think it must have been like $45 for a signed Peter Frampton poster. How could I pass that up? I think a numbered Kiss poster might have been $50.
Mm-hmm.
I have a signed Kevin Hart poster that I got for $10 at Madison Square Garden. Charging $100 for an unsigned, unnumbered poster, I think is absolutely gross. No poster should cost more than, really, shouldn't be, more than $50 for a limited edition.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good concert, gross merch.
Yeah,
that really sucks, especially my collection. I have a collection for years, almost 20 years worth of a collection at this point of programs and posters. I've never, ever once seen a poster be that expensive without being like a limited sort of thing.
Just greed.
I don't get it. That's $50 for each band.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild to me. That's truly wild. And then on top of that, Devo was selling a $40. It was a $40 poster, but it had no correlation to the tour.
Jeez.
So if that was like a tour poster or something, I would have 100% been fine paying $40. $100 for a tour poster? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That was really, really probably the worst part about that show. So it was unfortunate. I enjoyed the show. A lot of people left after the B-52s. I don't know how they didn't main event. And then after Devo played Whip It, a lot of people left. Whip It was one of their first few songs.
Why leave right after you? I mean, you can just go to YouTube and...
I don't know. But those are my shout-outs. And unfortunately, an anti-shout-out. Now it's time for our... is right, our Mark Out moment of the week. I think, given I just spoke about the B-52s and Devo, I think wearing a Cactus Jack shirt to the B-52s concert qualifies as a Mark Out moment of the week for me.
Why?
Because Cactus Jack's Bang Bang came from Love Shack.
Oh.
I also got a lot of compliments on the t-shirt there, which was, I didn't expect to get any.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got one, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I got two, I got three. I was like, what is happening here? How many people know Cactus Jack? That's awesome. And then one dude, probably his late 40s, maybe even early 50s, complimented my shirt, and he goes, I thought about wearing my Dude Love shirt. I thought that was really funny, too. So it was really cool to at least hear that moment of pro wrestling history in that bubble live.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mark Out moments. I have other Mark Out moments.
Dave Bautista.
Is that it?
Yeah. Oh, and of course, everything at Creative Pro Wrestling. I mean, getting to see Matt and Brian, Dudley's, and everybody. That's a Mark Out moment.
I definitely popped big time at WWE using TNA footage in that the Crown Jewel video package for AJ Styles and John Cena on Monday Night Raw. I thought that was awesome to see. Also, TNA, on the flip side of that, they put out a tweet today. They put out a tweet of, it says Madison Square Garden. I was like, what the hell is happening here? I thought TNA was about to announce that they're running Madison Square Garden, but it was a video. It was WWE footage in that TNA video for the Dudleys versus the Hardy Boyz, and it was footage from that Madison Square Garden match that they had, the tables match at Royal Rumble. So I popped for that. Another Mark Out moment, I was watching Daniel Ross on TikTok Live. He's one of the voices of Donald Duck, the third voice of Donald Duck. And he was talking about being a kid in the 80s. So I asked him if he, as a kid, did he watch pro wrestling? And he immediately goes into a Macho Man impression. And then he followed it up by doing a Paul Bearer impression. So I didn't expect to hear the voice of Donald Duck do My Undertaker. So I popped big time for that. I thought that was awesome to hear him do that. But that's it. That's no other Mark Out moments, right?
No, take it home.
Thank you so much for checking us out, Markin Out, episode 766. You can follow us on Twitter at Markin Out, at BTTG161 on all platforms. Chris Sweendog, CM Sweeney85, David PTDBT, Facebook.com/Markin Out, YouTube and Instagram are Markin Out 11, ProWrestlingTees.com/Markin Out. Follow us on TikTok at Markin Out. You could like, rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, markinout.com, and we wish you the best of luck
in your future endeavors.
Have a fantastic week.